What's going on, everybody? Good evening, or whatever time it is for you guys. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Matt. If you guys are joining for the first time, welcome. And let's get this algorithm going. Let's see. Don't be shy to leave a comment or hit the like button. I know everybody says that, but try and get the algorithm going here. Try and get these videos some views, so more people can join us. So, topic of today's video. Um, been really like nostalgic lately, as I mentioned before. If you watched my other video, I've been going back through some of my older footage when I was younger, even stuff that's recent, like within the last year. I did lots of traveling last year. As you all know, I went to Europe. I went to Spain and Portugal for a good portion of the year, and also went to Puerto Rico last year in the winter, which was really fun. So did all that solo, believe it or not. But I met a lot of cool people, a lot of made a lot of cool friends that we still keep in contact, and it's really cool because if they're going to be visiting my country, we can always meet up and stuff, and that'll be a cool experience. Anyways, so the topic of today's video is I feel like I'm in a type of deja vu situation. Now, what I mean by that is I've been in this situation several times now. And as I mentioned before, my other video, my last 3 years has just been one of the most craziest roller coaster rides I think I've ever been on. And I've been to a couple when I was a kid, and nothing that I've experienced in these last 3 years was shy of just unpredictable, um, like life changing stuff, psychological trauma, um, intense moments, periods of really high moments where you just feel like everything is clicking. You're on top of the world. My ego at that time too was pretty big, and it still is a part of me. It's still big. It's still big in some ways, and I think it's good to have a little bit of an ego. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad because you end up, if you don't control it, you end up having to ruining relationships and friendships and stuff that way. So that's not a good thing. But I'm at this period right now where at the beginning of this year I hit a really low point. Now, I was up here at the beginning of last year when I did all that traveling. I had a great time, met a lot of people. But when I came back to my home country and so-called reality of my life back home, then the roller coaster ride kind of just went back down, and it's kind of stayed down ever since. It's not really recovered yet, but I know it's recovering because I already feel really I already feel a lot more clarity mentally. I've had a lot of time now on my own, which a lot of people would say, you're not supposed to be really isolated that much. I'm used to it, but I think this short period of time that I am kind of alone here with my own thoughts is really good because I've done a lot of reflecting and I've done a lot of searching for some answers that led me to those really high and those really low moments. And I've been in this particular situation twice before. Now, the first time I've been in this situation was really because of the pandemic that was going on, and just at that moment, period of time when that happened, everything just shifted in my life. I ended up losing my grandfather, one of the most influential and probably one of the most important people in my life. One of my best friends. I don't know if I'll ever have such a close relationship with somebody as I did with him. And just such a wise guy, and just taught me a lot about life and how hard it was for him coming, from Italy during the World War, and then coming to this country, and all the sacrifices he made. And at the end, like his last years of retirement, like I have to say, he really reaped the rewards of his work. He had everything he ever wanted. He had he wasn't like very wealthy. He was just a simple guy, simple man, and he had a big family, and he had a big garden. He loved his garden. He loved working in the back. And I would always go over every weekend. I would take my time away, sometimes away from friends, to go work in his backyard for the weekend, and that would be my way of spending time with him as much as I could. And as soon as I lost him there at that moment, even when the pandemic was happening too, I completely died on the inside. Like I feel like a part of me just kind of just the light was out. And I remember the year, it was like, 2022 at the beginning of the year, because he passed away on New Year's Eve. My whole life changed that year. Without him, it was just really difficult. And I don't want this to be a depressing video, but I spent about a whole year really grieving that loss, and I still do grieve. But it's gotten better as time, has gone on, and I know he's watching over me. And if you are, no, really, really miss you. And I think that when people pass that are that important to you, they become like your guardian angels. He showed up a lot of my dreams, and especially recently, me and him had some red wine together in one of my dreams, which is a really cool experience. I woke up and I was just remembered of all like the that dream with him, how like all the good times we had together after we were done working in the back in the garden. We'd have an amazing dinner and some wine. So anyway, back to kind of, sorry I went on a little bit off topic here, but I've been in this exact situation before where it seems like every time the universe or God throws me back into a period of isolation, it's for, and I don't want to say that it's always necessarily been an outside force that's led me to being back on my own, but it's been situations where they were short lived, I've had to learn from those experiences and those situations, or those experiences that um, I went through, and there was a lesson involved. And it seems like when I'm thrown back to this kind of state where I'm kind of back thinking on things, it's for a reason, and I know it's for a short period of time because I've been in this situation before. And you know when I was grieving that year when I lost my grandfather, I said, what, this is not healthy for me, even though I miss him. I am it's not good for me, as a human being, to stay put in my same exact environment here, grieving this whole time. It's a very slow process, but I said I need to branch out. I need to, you know, I've I need to get out of my home environment. I was still living at my parents at that time, and that's what led me to find this job that I talked about in previous videos. That was a very interesting experience, that's for sure. So that's all I'm going to say there. If you guys are interested, go back on my other videos and you'll get the full story. But really, if you're ever back in a situation where you feel like you have to like think, and I don't want to like overthink. I've used this time, I believe, pretty constructively and productively to, you know, not like dissect everything that's gone wrong, and that you know what I've learned and what's gone right for me, but it's given me an opportunity to kind of just rest and kind of recharge my batteries. Because man, mentally, I went through a lot of emotions, and it's still tough for me sometimes to process all of them because there was a lot going on through these different types of situations. So I'm back on my own again, and again, this is not permanent. This is not something that I I I did before have a lot of antisocial personalities, and I still do a little bit. It's just my nature, it's just me. And it feels like when I'm not around the right people, when I'm not surrounded by the right people, I tend to really value, my own time alone, because that gives me a lot of grounding. It allows me to think clearly and to focus on myself, because when I'm around others, it feels like I kind of have to, if we don't really click on the same level, it feels like I have to kind of play along, not get into any too deep of a conversation, kind of keep things simple and surface level, but fun, because I, obviously like the social interaction and whatnot. But I also realize that isolating yourself is not the best idea either. So, it's for anybody out there that's, feeling like, because we all need social interaction. We all, as human beings, need to be social, and really, at the end of the day, it's just in our human nature to do that. So, but the reason why I'm not necessarily depressed about it, or because I've been in this exact situation, and all it takes is for you to kind of get your bearings together, and then say, okay, what's next? Because what's next, right? Because you've gone through the past, you've gone through, these moments of nostalgia, and you're like, okay, I've been there, done that. What I did here was a mistake. What I did here was not the best decision, but what did I learn from it, right? So that's just kind of where I'm at right now. And I know, quite literally soon, because I have this instinct now, you know, as soon as you start thinking forward again and not back, that's when the doors start to open, different opportunities start to present themselves to you, and you have to make that decision. And that's what happened to me these last 3 years. It's every time I was pushed back into periods of, you know, kind of short-term isolation slash, rethinking the past, it's always led me to, rethink some stuff and then leap forward into something new, into something completely different. And, I was nervous when I did those kind of things. And that's the best feeling, because you really grow in those moments. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys can have learned something from it. And stick around. Again, don't forget to subscribe. I see some people watching, but I don't see any likes or people subscribing. So make sure you do that, guys, for the algorithm and stuff. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Good night. And I will see you in the next video.